What is going on, guys? My name is Dirge, and today I want to talk a little bit about the fact that players will be unable to use flying mounts in Warlords of Draenor until patch 6.1, and also a little bit of the background behind flying mounts. So, flying mounts were first introduced to the game in the Burning Crusade. Since then, they have been incorporated into every part of Warcraft, with a few exceptions such as Tol Barad, the Isle of Thunder, and the Timeless Isle. For PvP zones like Tol Barad, this comes as no surprise. I'm wondering if this is the start of a trend for future zones, but every zone in a new expansion is quite a surprise. Having played in vanilla, I know what it's like not to be able to fly, with the exception of flight paths. Don't get me wrong, it's a bit of an inconvenience, and for those who began playing in Burning Crusade onward, it's something they're not used to. Already we've seen a pretty sizable outcry from people on the forums about this matter, and there's speculation, if enough people show their frustration, Blizzard might change this and allow flying. I personally don't think so. Once they confirm something like this, there's not a good chance of them going back on it. Now, in a blue post from Bashiok, he goes on to explain how flying trivializes combat, whether it be at dungeons, raids, battlegrounds, etc., and it doesn't make sense to trivialize the core mechanic of the game. This is the main reason they don't want to incorporate flying immediately into the expansion. He goes on to say there are other reasons, such as flying making zones seem smaller, because flying mounts travel much faster. Also, it makes them unable to present content in any structured way, which makes sense. I mean, normally you can fly to the highest level zone, skipping all other major quest lines in between. It removes their ability to determine how and when players approach a situation, amongst other things, and I quote, "It just generally reduces any gameplay we want to create by allowing infinite choice in how content is approached to best suit a player's intention to usually avoid that content." Bashiok elaborates a little bit more on the topic. If you want to read the full post, I'll leave a link in the description below. Takralis on the European forums quotes another post from Bashiok. Here he brings up a couple things in addition to his previous post. The first being about the revamp to not only the questing experience while leveling, but the questing experience at max level as well. He talks about it being more story-driven, like the patch 5.1 content, but with some of the exploration lessons they learned from the Timeless Isle. The second thing he talks about is how they really like when flying feels like a reward. There are no specific details about this yet. He says it will be something more involved than just paying gold, and I quote, "Unlocking it won't just be level 100 on the day 6.1 comes out with some gold, but something you'll be working toward over the course of the initial expansion release, and 6.1 will introduce the final steps to complete it." Now to me, this is interesting. I'm looking forward to the story they put behind it, rather than just the zone-wide debuff that prevents you from flying on the Timeless Isle. If you want to read the post in its entirety, I will put a link in the description to this as well. From my experience on the Timeless Isle and the Isle of Thunder, not only does it feel bigger because I'm not able to fly, but having to fight to get to where you're going gives a better feel than just landing on top of the mob you need to kill for your quest. Granted, things will take much longer to accomplish. I think it enhances the experience, and I mean, that is why we pay monthly, isn't it? For the experience? This is just my opinion though, so please don't get up in arms about it. Everyone plays their own game. But I digress. Flying has become such a staple in our day-to-day play. It's not something we just want to give up. It's like driving to your job every day. You get a promotion and surprise, you now have to walk to work until your next big raise. It's not something you'll take lightly unless you've done it before, or you really don't mind it. Knowing that we will inevitably get our ability to fly back after the first few months of the expansion, maybe it won't be such a bad thing. Perhaps it will give players a greater appreciation for the new zones, as well as the experience that goes with it. There are so many things changing with this expansion that once the game launches, people may not mind much at all. We'll just have to wait and see. I want to know what you guys think though. How do you think this will affect the game and how we play? Do you think it will end up being a good thing? Or do you think it will just be another thing to add to the list of horrible experiences in WoW? Let me know in the comments section below. Drop me a like and subscribe if you enjoyed this discussion, and I will see you guys in my next video.